Survival Radio Network out at the third annual the Riot Starter Symposium. I have the pleasure of being here with Mr. David Lee, international speaker, trainer, and your subject, 3 words really spoke out to me, which is efficiency, time management, and wealth building.
Yeah.
I guess if you have the first 2, the third is easy to accomplish.
Absolutely, yeah.
Talk a little bit about how you got into this field. I know you had a background in government.
Yes.
Worked with the government for a while.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
That's part of the efficiency part, I'm sure.
It was, and that was my background, was business. But I took over a fairly large team in the government. I was at the CDC here in Atlanta, had about 50 people working for me. And I had realized with the amount of projects that we were given, I couldn't use your traditional top-down ABC 1, 2, 3 priority system to manage things. There was just too much going on. I felt overwhelmed. And I'd interested really some seminars that were very interesting on time management. It took it from a whole different level. And a particular one was by Darren Hardy, who's the publisher of Success Magazine.
Right.
Has an amazing topic on insane productivity is the name of it.
Wow.
And so a lot of I learned from there, as well as some other sources, to kind of put together how can we be more productive? And it has nothing to do with traditional time management techniques.
Wow.
It really has to do with giving our focus energy on what is a really important, what's really going to move either our business forward, our career forward. What's the number one thing?
Okay, so I want to ask you, so our listeners know what that is. Talk a little bit about what traditional is being taught and learned.
So traditional time management would be like a to-do list. So you're making a list of 40 things, and you're like, all right, so what's number one? And usually it's A, B, C,
right? And
then you take the A's, you number them way down, and you're supposed to work on the A's before you get to the B's, before you get to the C's.
Right.
And it does work if you have a reasonable workload. But in today's world, we're assigned so many things from our boss, or if you're an entrepreneur, you're assigning them to yourself because you want to move your business forward.
Every little thing, right?
Yeah. And it all adds up, and we end up that time after time people come to me and they have like 40 things on their A list. And all they get is stress. And the more they have on their list, the less they get done. So that's not what's productive. Now, they may be organized. Now, there's no doubt the ABC 1, 2, 3 will help you organize. It's not necessarily going to help you be highly productive.
So talk about one key. We don't want to give away the kitty. They should have been here. But what's one key in a non-traditional sense, what you teach and train on, that differs from the approach you just talked about, but is highly effective?
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you a 1. And 1 would be you've got to get distractions out of your life. When you're working on this task, you've got to get rid of distractions. And here's the thing. As technology has evolved, we all have smartphones.
Sure.
Now, they're amazing devices, right? I mean, it's our phone, it's our computer, and we can text, we can stay in contact. It's awesome for that. The downside is now we're becoming slave to all these notifications, the sounds, the beeps, the boops. And every time it comes in, we want to go look at our phone, even though we are working on a task, and see, well, who was it that texted me?
Kind of reminds you of Pavlov's dog. We
Absolutely.
become systemized by a sound and a reaction.
Absolutely. Or even now vibrate. You know, it vibrates like, and now we're so trained by it, just like Pavlov, we want to go look even when we haven't heard the sound, just in case something slipped by us. So we want to go look at it like once a minute, every 5 minutes.
Very true.
And we flip over our phone and we look and we're like, oh, there's nothing there. But while I'm here, let me just see what's going on Facebook.
Right.
And pretty soon we stop working on our task. And 40% of the time, we don't even go back to work on the same task that we were on when we got distracted the first time.
Wow. I can see how that would be counter efficiency.
Absolutely.
So you talk about this and you train all over the world. What brings you to this event?
Well, I met Dr. Lowe at an event here in Georgia. It was the Georgia Christian Business Network. And, we just really hit it off. She really liked what I talk about. I gave a very miniature version of this at one of the networking events. And it was so impactful for Tanya that she really wanted to bring this to a much larger crowd, the crowd that she's doing with running this symposium. A lot of the trainings that I do are on a global level, and I do a lot of webinars that teach these kind of concepts. And this is a piece of it. I mean, my company, not just time management, that's one of the things, but we talk about wealth, let's talk about health, because if you think about it, they're all related.
They are.
if we spend all of our time focusing on our career, sometimes we sacrifice. We don't go to the gym. We're hitting the fast food instead of preparing a nice meal. We're not focusing. Right. So there has to be some balance.
Sure.
But if I can give you your time back by helping you be more efficient, now you've got time to invest in those other areas of being more effective with your health, as well as maybe being able to spend some more time on wealth building activities.
Absolutely. So the company is Power Margin?
Yes.
All right. So tell everybody who's out there, first of all, do you primarily work with individuals or companies, or both?
Primarily individuals,
okay.
But smaller companies now are looking and saying, what can we do in our environment? Because right now we know our employees are surfing the net
sure.
and all the stuff that happens. And not that we're going to stop that entirely, but if you could help train those employees who want it to say, look, I want you to focus on one task for 90 minutes and get that done, and then go ahead and take a 1 hour break. That's unheard of.
Sure.
Because today we always say, oh, go take your 15-minute break. Well, that's not enough to recharge you. That's enough to use the restroom, not necessarily to recharge your batteries.
All right.
So having that time to recover will then let you do another 90-minute session later, and that's where the productivity really comes in.
Last but not least, let everybody know where they can find you if you would, sir.
Yeah, so you can find me on powerofmargin.com.
Okay.
That we actually partner with the Health Sciences, which is our product partner, and we use those products and that opportunity to really fuel people, so not only can they build their time, but they can build their wealth at the same time.
Mr. Derek Lee, thank you. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much. Yeah.